Giggs. No. Rhodri.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at?
It's opinions. I respect your opinions. Maybe in your opinion Messi is better than me, but in my mind I'm better than him.
I do it again.
Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I might cop a farm and go act up. Lot of scars, I was cold hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month. I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy car cards and get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up,
Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation, the home of Rhodri Giggs on football. And we have lots to discuss this evening. As always, lots and lots of subjects, including the top 10 centre-backs in Premier League history. We always have a good debate and a good chat about that. But that'll be towards the second half of the show. We're going to talk Champions League, FA Cup, bit of this, bit of that. And as always, I am joined by the man himself, future Super Six champion, maybe, possibly. But he has been thrashed for the last 2 seasons. So you've got to give him his glory when he gets it, because I keep forgetting to do it. It is Mr. Rhodri Giggs. How are you, my friend? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. You?
Happy, mate. Happy. Just
I've had my Leeds work colleagues thanking me for Cardiff.
Taking all the credit.
Yeah, so yeah, it's been a good week.
It has been a good week. Hopefully, it's going to get even better over the weekend. Some big games this weekend. It's going to be fascinating, mate. Fascinating weekend of football. But before we kind of look forward to the weekend, as is tradition, we will do the little Super Six update just to keep you happy, because I know you get upset if I don't do it. We're raising money for charity, which of course is the main thing. We've had 2 rounds this week. Nadine Carter won the midweek round. Ex-Cardiff City legend, Mr. Andy Legg, won the weekend round. And if you haven't already, check out the interview which I did with Mr. Legg on Cardiff City World. Rayhan Lalo had the highest score in the Fantasy Premier League this week. But how are me and Rhodri getting on in our verses? It's not even close anymore. I've fallen apart in the last month and Rhodri's run away a bit. But Super Six, 2 rounds. I scored 6 points because I didn't do the midweek one. Rhodri scored a whopping 19. Has a lead of 46, which is at least 2 weeks for me when I do it. But, the Fantasy Premier League is even worse. I scored 48 points this week, and Rhodri scored a measly 42, which means I technically should become the Fantasy Premier League champion. I think that's how it works.
Right, but what the points are behind?
Which means that you're
looking at quarter. We're looking at a quarter of a monkey, pal. So yeah, I'm like, where's Si?
Just looking. As I say, mate, gone to pieces. There was neck and neck pretty much all season, and then this last month, I think I've forgotten it.
Yeah, I put the afterburners on. That's all I've done. Championship rounds, pal. That's what happens. Well, mate, people turn it up notch, and people go the other way. Obviously, I've gone the other way.
3 years to turn up. So, third time lucky in that, I suppose.
All I would say is keep your chin up and keep fighting to the end.
It's devastating, mate. You know what it's like. You'll forget at some point, and then I'll have a good week.
It's going to be a glorious victory.
But on keeping your chin up, mate, Gareth Southgate says he has no issue with Ben White making himself unavailable for England again. He obviously left the World Cup in the summer. like, where do you stand on it? Like, I know no one knows the reasons why, but there's something about international football because he's been good form in the Premier League, playing, with Arsenal, doing very well. He's doing very well. So what do you think it is that means he doesn't want to play for England? Does he not like the manager? Because, I mean, when I said that he could be the next United manager, you got a bit.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he leave halfway through a camp?
I'm not sure. I thought he left. No, he left after one game of the World Cup, I think it was. I will double check that, but I'm pretty sure he did the World Cup. He was there. He was out. He was there for the tournament, and then he left.
Something's gone on in that England camp, hasn't there? So
yeah, and it's a weird one, mate, because he's probably. I would have thought he's probably with a good shout of being the first choice right back. Maybe he's between him and Trent Alexander, isn't it?
Nowhere near being first choice right back.
Mate, if Trent Alexander plays in midfield, which he has done, because
Kyle Walker plays there.
Yeah, I forgot about him. All right, I'll give you that. But in fairness, mate, Gareth Southgate, a very creative attacking manager, going to play Trent Alexander in the midfield. He's clever. I could see him doing big things when he goes to United in the summer. Big things, mate. Big things.
Who?
Southgate. 100%, mate. It happens. Like, I bet you.
Southgate ain't coming to United, mate. Got more chance to go to Cardiff.
You're going to love it as well when he does. You're going to get behind him. You're going to give it all the cliches.
Negative straight away. They won't want it. It's too defensive. Look what he's doing with this England side. He's getting into perfect positions, but he's not got that killer instinct. So he's not won anything when he's been in position. Great ones win things. That's why he's not great, even though he's just won a cup. But he's been in other positions. Jose Mourinho, you get in a position, you win.
Yeah.
Other great managers in the past. Yeah, again, that's the same with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He was on the verge of, if he'd have won that final or won them semi-finals, he might still be there. You've got to win. Got to win games.
Playing devil's advocate, mate, is Gareth Southgate the best England manager since 1966?
Yes. Statistically, yes. Is he the best manager coach? Arguably Terry Venables, arguably Bobby Robson. Both coached at higher level in club with Barcelona, both of them.
But purely from an England point of view.
But the stats say, he's been to finals, semi-finals. He has changed around. He has got them together. He has got the press on side to a certain extent. So he's been there as a player and he's a smart individual. So he's but just can't get him over that hump. And he should be doing with these type of players.
So in the summer, when England win the Euros under Southgate, and then he leaves and goes to Manchester United, I expect you to do every single show next year, until he gets sacked by United. You have to wear a waistcoat for every episode, and that was suggested by Buddy.
Right, and when he doesn't come, you've got to wear a Swansea shirt for the first 6 weeks.
Mate, not a chance now.
Yeah, well, exactly. So don't talk shit.
Come on. It wasn't my idea. It was suggested.
Yeah.
No, it is a weird one with Ben White, though, just taking it back to that. Like, something's happened, haven't it? It's got to have, like...
Yeah, something's happened, yeah. Someone's, I don't know, someone might have mentioned his shaved legs, might upset him. Who knows? These temperamental players these days, the mental health and stuff.
It's just, it is just a weird one, because I do think, all right, he's not like first choice, but he would be in the squad, wouldn't he? For the
he'd be definitely in the squad, especially at the minute. He's been playing really well, making good assists, and he's basically a centre half that can play right back but play it very well. So, and players are invaluable because you've got multiple positions. You probably play left back as well if needed. So, then play but at a high level. It's important that he does it at a high level, then they don't skip a beat. And he set the winner up for Havertz the weekend, I think.
Yeah.
The weekend was it yesterday?
No, it was a weekend. We Havertz scored the winner, I think.
Tuesday, Porto.
Oh, yeah, possibly. It is a weird one, but so if you're the manager, mate, does that take him out of your plans for the Euros now? Because it's not the first time he's been he's done it in the World Cup, and now he's done it again now.
What they do is they'll have all the names on the board, You know, if there's an injury or, you know, if he doesn't want to go. So they'll have it all mapped out. They'll all have it all on the board at St George's Park. All the England players, all the England squad from last, you know, from to pick from. And, you know, that's be proper professional, won't it? Proper, it's the England football team.
No, I get that. I just
and
mean...
he seems to not leave any stone unturned, so...
But can you rely on him, mate, though? Like, when he's left the World Cup and then he's unavailable now for international football, whilst he's flying...
Oh, yeah, you can't... If he plays, he's a professional, he's going to turn up, yeah. He's not going to not turn up. So, yeah.
But, no, I mean, what happens if he's named in the squad for the Euros and then he gets, you know, he leaves again after the game and then Kyle Walker gets injured
Yeah, well, that's an issue, isn't it? That's an issue. But you have a stern chat with him before and everything okay, You know, you've got razors for your legs and all that kind of stuff, tweezers for your eyebrows. Make
sure he's all right, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, if he's got all that stuff, then we're golden.
Yeah, he's happy days there, mate, isn't he?
Yeah.
Bit of new Rangers gone out of Europe to Benfica. West Ham thrashed Freiburg to reach the quarterfinals. And do you reckon West Ham could win another European trophy this year, mate? You never know.
Yes, if their team wasn't called Liverpool still in it.
Yeah, there is that. Liverpool going to win the quadruple if you listen to their fans, mate. But do you know what, though, mate? Right, as a United fan, you have
they could though. Well, will it be a cut? Yeah, but they've done this kind of thing before. They've won the tin pot treble before, haven't they?
Yeah,
so they could do.
But then, so as a United fan, it must be difficult for you this year with the title race because you've got City going for 4 in a row, which United never did. You've got Liverpool going for their 20th title, which would equal United, and then you've got Arsenal who haven't won it for 20 years, and their fans are like the most unbearable social media fans.
I ain't worried about them. I understand. I'm a realist. It's cycles. All I'm worried about is getting the team back in order and getting in the right track. Because at the minute, quite a long way away. So
yeah,
get back on track. Let them have their success, and then just get ourselves sorted first before I'm worried about anyone else. You know, good luck to them. It's like I say, it works in cycles. I'd rather watch Liverpool, if I'm honest, to watching City.
You mean like week to week?
That's my preference. Pardon?
You mean week to week, or you'd rather win them?
Yeah, well, just as a team.
Oh,
as a team, I think City can be a bit boring. Liverpool, it's just all action, and Arsenal's probably in between.
Yeah, fair, mate, fair. I think it's one of them with United. They're getting it slowly, making the changes off the field. They'll kind of work their way down to the manager, I would assume. And then they'll make a decision, and looks like they're going to make a decision on some players. We did a thing the other week where we went through the squad, and I asked you if you would keep, sell, etc. Big stories in the papers today saying PSG are going to come back in for Rashford. 75 mil. Would you take that, mate?
75 million?
Would you wouldn't be tempted to take that?
No.
Because he's straight in the pocket.
No, that's piss take.
100 mil or nothing, is it?
You've seen these players going for what? His marketing alone from his shirts and in his stuff alone will get the money back in a couple of years, 3 years. Come on.
So what, you say 100 million or there's not even
100 million, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair, mate. Like, if at the end of the day, I don't think United are looking to sell him.
Will he be worth that? But no, that's a different debate.
That's different conversation, isn't it? It'll be interesting, mate, because I think on paper, if you go through that United squad, if they could get him out and replace him, I think there's only about 6 or 7 which 100% would be kept. But realistically, you can't get rid of that many players in one window. You can't. So it's got to be done.
You bring back Son as well, because Sancho, he scored again last night. He could come back and play on that left side.
Would you be happy to have him back?
If he's playing like that, yeah.
Would you be... All right, let me put it another way. If you were in that changing room, would you be happy to have him back?
Well, listen, I was happy to have Mason Greenwood back, so why would he not?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I'd take your point. I just think... obviously, I think the manager would have to change for him to come back, 1. And 2, I just don't know whether there would be people at the club who would be like, you disrespected the club, you refused to play, blah, blah, blah. They needed him, didn't they? When he was having his moment, United had no right wingers at one point, and it was a bit like, come on. But I accept your point. Like when he plays, mate, there was a point when he signed for United, stats-wise and performance-wise, he was up there just underneath Messi, Ronaldo, and Mbappe.
Yeah,
so
he obviously lost confidence and he didn't gain it back because he'd get in great positions, like I'm seeing him doing at Dortmund. But he's going for the kill where he'd stop and pull back and pass it back and go up the other side, and instead of committing, taking risks, which you've got to do as a Man United player. But it's a bit different than Dortmund.
So do you see a world where United could possibly sell a Rashford and end up keeping a Greenwood and a Sancho? Or do you think it's very unlikely?
Yeah, it's very unlikely, yeah.
I think they're more likely to sell those two, do you? Like realistically.
Even though Rashford is the jury's out with still Man United fans because of his not because of his quality. His quality there's no doubt about his quality. It's his work rate. It's his body language, his attitude on the pitch. It's not good enough for a Manchester United player. He's not working hard enough.
And we should say, mate, just to say, because we have talked about
and for me to say that about a Manchester United academy player who's coming through the ranks, it's just a joke because he knows what it's all about. So, yeah. And I don't, it's just, and it's, you can't, my eyes can't lie.
Yeah.
Newcastle game, there's multiple games where you see him strutting about. It's frustrating because there's no doubt in his quality. Yeah,
it's and it's one of them. Like it's almost like quite shocking to see. And obviously, I hear you talk about it, and then it's like you say, it's something which you don't expect. But also, I should say, like because we have talked about Rashford a bit recently, it's not just him. There is others within that squad with similar issues, body language, work rate, attitude when things get tough. So I think it's. He gets maybe not singled out, but he gets focused on because he's the big name player. He's the one who's on the biggest wages. He's on, it's all this. That's what comes with that. And his performances haven't been up there. We may as well take that into the game on the weekend, mate. A massive game, Manchester United versus Liverpool in the FA Cup on the weekend. Is there any way in your eyes that United come away with a win there? Or do you think it's just kind of one of them, like the City game the other day? It's a cup game at the end of the day. It's one off,
Yeah, it's one of them that could go either way. It's 50-50 for me because it's at Old Trafford. We got a draw against them last time, so we played probably similar to that, even though we're at home. But yeah, it's a 50-50 one for me.
Yeah, and I guess the biggest issue with United this season is you never quite know which version of them is going to turn up. So they could turn up and play.
What players are back?
Yeah, indeed.
No.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I know. I saw a clip of his interview the other day where he said after the international break, like Mount and that's back. They're already back in training. I know Højlund, I think, is back on the weekend, and they starting to get players back. I saw Martinez has gone to Argentina duty, which I thought is a bit interesting because I don't think he's back in full training. But then
he will be. It may be just bit of warm weather, a bit of physio, a bit of stuff over there. Who knows? But
it's an interesting one though, mate. Because the Wales manager picked Aaron Ramsey in the squad, obviously yesterday or today, and
I don't know why he's picking players from second-rate teams. I don't know what's going on.
Aaron Ramsey's injured, mate, and he hasn't played for Cardiff for weeks.
Aaron Ramsey's injured. That surprises me.
I know, but the Cardiff manager said today that the Welsh FA and Robert Page hadn't spoken to Cardiff about it. They just picked him. So it's kind of interesting that he's been picked because I don't.
When I was older, and I was coming to the end of my career, the manager would put me in the squad, but leave me out of that as a spare man because he wanted me with the squad because I was good morale and good banter. So maybe he's good around with the experienced player, good around. Maybe that's the reason. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, he's the captain as well, isn't he? So, I mean, it makes sense in that regard. And especially, they've got like Ruben Colwell, for instance, is in the squad. He's had a good season for Cardiff, plays in the same position. I doubt he starts. But having someone like Ramsey, a teammate, a captain in the squad, is going to help him settle in. And, you know, there's a couple of young players in there. So I do see it. I just think from a Cardiff point of view, I think it looks like they feel like the Welsh FA should have had a chat to them first. But I mean, it's just not how it works, is it? It's always club versus country. Did you know John O'Shea is the current manager of the Republic of Ireland national side?
No.
No, neither did I. I've just read it and I'm like, all right, okay. He's the interim boss, which is kind of interesting. He's picked a couple of players like from the Championship who were doing quite well, but I legitimately did not know he was the manager. So fair play to him. Fair play to him. Right, Champions League, mate, this week. What did you make of it? I watched a bit of the Atletico game yesterday. I thought it was a good game. Griezmann looks like he's really rejuvenated himself in the last year or so. He looks. I've seen him a few times. Looks quality again.
Yeah, he's always been a good player. And he's not lost his pace. Still quite nippy. But I was in and out. I'm in and out of it. I was in and out of Atletico, in and out of Dortmund. I watched a bit of Arsenal. Most of the game of Arsenal Porto.
Do you know what I didn't like about the Arsenal Porto game? I was the same. I was kind of dipping in and out of it. But do you know what I didn't like about it? Was the way that TNT was kind of framing it like Porto was like this massive underdog, like Arsenal were playing like League Two side who were like battling again. I was like, Porto have won the Champions League twice. Arsenal have never won it. Like Porto, they're full of quality internationals. It's like Jesus. But such is life, mate. I suppose it is what it is, isn't it? I'll tell you one thing, and I'm willing to maybe admit that I'm on the road to being wrong. I don't necessarily think I'm wrong yet. But Kai Havertz is doing a job for Arsenal at the moment. The way they play suits him. The no number 9, I think, suits him. Odegaard and Rice behind him. And you've got to give him credit. He's scored a couple of really important goals recently, which has kind of ramped up the title race, got him through the Champions League. So credit where it's due. I think a lot of fans from around the place kind of question that signing and the price.
I think you see some of these players sometimes and you think, how is he playing there? And then but obviously, when we see Fred playing all the time, how is he playing? But these managers see something, and they're in, believe it or not, they're better qualified to make that decision than us. So, he's tall, he's good on the ball, he can score with his head. He's a bit nasty as well. Say clumsy, but I wouldn't know what he's doing. He just looks like he's clumsy, but he knows exactly what he's doing. So,
he's got a bit of shithousery about him, haven't he?
But it's just
I like that.
The price tag with these players. It's not the players' fault, is it? But
no.
Yeah, it's you got to trust what the coach has brought him in. He stuck his neck out, and he's repaying him. So,
and what I will say with it is,
well done, Lego head. I heard it on the radio yesterday. Mick Arteta, and here is on the radio Mick Arteta, aka Lego head. I was pissing myself.
It's an interesting one with him. Like, he's got no number 9, and I think everyone's kind of waiting for Arsenal to fall apart and kind of that side of it.
Experience from last year, mate, and added that extra bit of quality with Declan Rice. Makes all the difference, mate. Experience and that extra bit of quality. We've seen teams before win the league without number 9, so it's been done before.
Yeah, and I think what you've got to say as well with Arsenal is that you'd think they would learn from last year. They did fall apart, but a big part of them falling apart was that Saliba was out for a big part of the season, and I think people like that you said about it's not the player's fault about the price tag, and I would include Declan Rice in that. It's not his fault that his price was 105 million or whatever, but like I think his performances have transformed the way Arsenal are able to play and be so fluid in the attacking areas without a number 9. So
there's some of these. Sometimes this is what I mean. Mick Arteta he might be the glue that glues them all together. I think it's Odegaard, but he might be a big part of that as well. So these players we see different, but these coaches who are top coaches see it a different way, and obviously they're reaping the rewards now because he's nipping him some goals and important ones as well.
Indeed, mate. So there's some big fixtures coming up, obviously in the Champions League. But Atletico through on penalties versus Inter Milan. Inter Milan missed some chances, mind.
I tell you, I got 6 right yesterday. 6 out of 6.
Yeah, you did mention him. You did.
I know.
Unfortunately, you didn't get the score right, so you didn't get the 25 grand or
All
whatever.
right, because my colleague can do it, so it's no problem.
Yeah, that's all right. I got to give you a chance, mate. I felt bad if I'd beaten you at a third.
Give me a chance, and now what am I? 46?
But imagine I'd beaten you for a third season in a row.
46
it wouldn't have even been interesting next year.
It's getting embarrassing. Yeah. If it goes up, I'm going to make. You know what? I might even just lay off a bit and bring it a bit closer.
You don't need to do that, mate. I'm
Sure.
pretty confident by the end of the season I'll be ahead of you anyway, even with your little lead.
Where is it? Super 6.
See, you can't even point to it. How can you expect to win?
Boom.
And by the way, we're competing with ourselves. Like there's about 70 people above us. Dortmund through as well. I thought Dortmund were pretty impressive. They got some players minding their side. Tell you who looks good for them and really looks. You talk about players who kind of glue everything together. I think Sabitzer looks really good for Dortmund. Just in that little midfield position. Just
I like the look of him, but it's just I look at him. He can play. He can get about. He's comfortable as well. I liked him.
Yeah, I wondered whether they might keep him because
I wouldn't have been upset if I wouldn't have been upset if they kept him. But like, nice, all right. Yeah, obviously he's not going to play every week, but when he comes in, he didn't let us down. And he started nipping a few goals at the end as well. So
I like
listen, mate. If you've been to Bayern Munich on loan at Manchester United, come on, you're going to be a good player.
And I think with him as well, just like quickly, like I think we mentioned the other week about you need those players who can play a couple of positions, come off the bench, rotate a couple of times, start a few games. Your Scott McTominay or your Sabitzer or these players. And in fairness, he's starting for Dortmund and he's showing what he can do, mate. So good luck to him, I say. But Dortmund through, Atletico through, Arsenal through on penalties, just about. Barcelona cruised through against Napoli. I think Osimhen leaves Napoli now, doesn't he? I can't see him being there next season.
Chelsea, Arsenal. Who knows? Anyway.
Maybe he'll go to City if they sell Haaland to Madrid. I mean, PSG won a striker, wouldn't they, as well, with even Mbappe's leaving. So there's a few knocking about with some cash to burn. Obviously, Man City versus Copenhagen, they cruised through. I think it was like 6-2 on aggregate. Madrid just about got past Red Bull Leipzig. But I think people underestimate Leipzig are quite a difficult team to play against.
Yeah, they do. I've watched them play. They're all right. They're a good outfit, Leipzig. So it's all about getting through to the next round. It's not how you play in these knockout rounds.
No.
Yes, you could be bonus if you play well, but it's all about getting to the next round.
Yeah, I fancy Madrid, mate. I got to say, they look like.
Fingers crossed, eh?
Yeah. Then you got Bayern. Not really much of a contest between Lazio and
Barcelona.
Yeah, and then Barca, PSG through. Is this finally the year for PSG? And Mbappe's going to go out with a Champions League medal?
No.
So let me have a look at their starting lineup from yesterday. I'm interested to see what ridiculous names they've got. So PSG started. So they had Donnarumma in goal, still up there with one of the best goalkeepers around, and he's still only about 23 or something as well. Hakimi, legend. Nuno Mendes, Hernandez in centre back, and then they had like Ruiz, Dembele, Mbappe, Barcola, and a few big names off. Well, a few decent. They got a really. Do you know what, mate? Their squad is mega young. The PSG squad. They got like Muani and Marquinhos is a bit more experienced. Ugarte, like some quality, like early mid-20s players who, if they go with how much sort of potential they got, they could be really, really good in like 2 years or so. But be interesting, mate. They got because obviously they got rid of Neymar and Messi, and Mbappe's going. They seem to be getting rid of the or moving away from like that Galactico sort of signings, and they seem to have gone for like the potential and the players just before their peak, which is quite an interesting strategy, because if it comes off, it works very, very well, doesn't it? But it's whether you can keep those players and whatnot. Here's a question for you. Sorry, mate. Here's a question for you. Was Arteta, has he been validated in his decision to sign David Raya and replace Aaron Ramsdale?
What? Why? Because he's won a penalty shootout.
Well, no, I think Raya's been decent all season, hasn't he? But I mean, do you think that
Ramsdale was decent last year?
But do you think, I mean, the main difference seems to be that Raya's better with his feet. Do you think that replacing Ramsdale
was an issue that he didn't need, but it's handled pretty well. So in the end, it's turned out pretty all right. Ramsdale's a guy for the cameras, so he's not going to be, he's going to be a budding teammate where underlying he just wants to play and like watch any professional would. But it's just, it could have caused an issue, but it obviously hasn't. So he's got away with it. So yes, the answer to the question is yes. He has been validated.
So before we talk about some FA Cup predictions very quickly, Swansea City versus Cardiff City tomorrow, 12:30, mate. Kicks off the weekend. Saturday, sorry. I keep thinking it's Friday today. Saturday. How do you see that going? Swansea have been struggling a bit this season. If they lose,
where's it at?
It's at Swansea. Swansea are 5 points above relegation. If they lose, they're in trouble. Cardiff,
when was last time you did a double?
Cardiff have never done the double. Swansea did the double last year.
So Cardiff have never done the double, or Swansea never?
Nope. And Swansea
tomorrow could be history. I mean, Saturday could be history then, because I fancy it like a high-scoring game, like 4-2 or something.
I think Swansea can't afford to lose.
I know that.
No, Swansea can't afford to lose, mate. Then I think they'll be quite cagey, because I think a draw is all right for them.
I think cagey means nervous, and Cardiff. Play better. Even though they've just got a good result at home, they play better away from home. So,
yeah. I mean,
you're just being no. Swansea got to win.
Swansea are shite, mate, and
I'd play so maybe a bit more positive, saying no, Swansea need to win. They can't.
Well, they need to win. No, I meant Swansea will be more worried.
We're going to proper do them.
Yeah, fucking
on their own patch, break history, and be out there. And if
they're kind of going to go there, smash them, and then they'll be like 2-3 points off the playoffs.
There we go.
Happy days, mate. There's always a team which makes a late run. Why can't it be Cardiff this year? That's what I say. It's all going well, especially our away form's been really good all season, and Swansea have been shit all season. So
at home, they've got some fine numbers as well.
They have brought in a good manager now, so I'm hoping that he just isn't quite at it yet. It's going to be tasty, mate. I think it's going to be. I fancy a sending off again.
Smart move to have it early, 12:30. Smart.
Yeah. Well, they got to, mate, haven't they? It's one of the only bubble trips left.
The brains will be flowing early on.
Yeah, I think it's the. I'm not sure. I'm correct. Someone will correct me, but I think it's the only bubble trip left in the Championship now. Is Cardiff Swansea. All the other ones you can just make your own way there, and Cardiff Swansea, you got to get your tickets from a place and get a bus, and all got to go together. And but there we go. It is what it is. What do you reckon the score is going to be, mate?
Seeing as your reactions are 4-2, my alternate score will be 2-1.
2? Don't say it.
Away win, I've told you. Away win. Fancy history in broken Saturday. 2-1.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, I think Cardiff.
I sit on the fence. Go on,
mate. Cardiff 2-0 all day. I said this yesterday when I was doing one of those interviews. I haven't been this confident about a South Wales derby for a while, which normally means that it's going to blow up in my face. But I'm pretty confident. Like, Cardiff have been very, very good away from home. And the last 5 games, they've got better and better with each game. They've really played well against Ipswich last week. And in the first game, we fucking battered Swansea in the first game. Swansea was shite. So there we go. That's my professional analysis. Swansea are having it. Check out my Swansea versus Cardiff preview though tomorrow night live after my Super Kev McNaughton interview. Right, before we do the 10 best centre backs in Premier League history, mate. Which I think is going to be an interesting conversation. Let's do these Super Six predictions so I don't forget to do mine.
Do you want me to not do it this weekend?
No, mate. I don't need sympathy, mate. I'll beat you with skill like I have for the last 2
seasons. That's all. It's no problem.
No, mate. I've beaten you like the last 2 seasons. I'll be all right.
Hey, listen, I was just trying to be helpful. There's no need to start getting bitchy. Come on.
Put the toys back in the pram. Right. First game up, mate. Burnley versus Brentford. I'll let you go first on this one. Go on. You're trying to think of what I'm going to pick so we can.
No, I want to go home win 2-1 Burnley.
Interesting. I've gone 1-1 in that one. Next up, we got Luton at home to Nottingham Forest.
What?
I got 2-1 Luton, me.
Oof. 3-1.
And then 3-1 to who?
Luton.
And then.
What?
Go on. What are you going to say, Ian?
I'm going to go 2-1.
Copy of me.
No. Yeah, 2-1.
So next I've got Spurs smashing Fulham 4-2 at Fulham's ground.
2-1 Spurs.
Then I've got Man City smashing Newcastle 3-1.
What? 2-1?
3-1.
Yeah, 2-1 City.
And then we got West Ham versus Villa. I've gone 2-1 to Villa, although Villa were a bit ropey the other day against Spurs. I've gone 2-1 to Villa away from home win.
1-1.
And then the big FA Cup game, mate, 3:30 on Sunday. I think a lot of it will depend on what sort of side United can put out, because I do think if they've still got these injuries, it could be quite painful viewing for United fans. However, I've gone with a 1-1 draw.
2-0 United.
Oh, the confidence. That's how you back your team, mate, isn't it? That's how you back your team.
Yeah, not like you.
Mr. Pessimistic. Right then, mate, we're going to talk top 10 Premier League centre-backs of all time. So it goes without saying that Jamie Carragher's number 1, obviously the best centre-back the Premier League's ever seen. But let's start with number 10. Who have you got as your 10th best centre-back of all time in the Premier League?
I have got, here's one out of the box for you. I know personally, Manchester United tried to nearly bought this player twice.
Oh, interesting. Go on.
Gareth Southgate, number 10.
Next United manager.
Sure.
I've got Ledley King, mate. Was only active for like sort of 3 or 4 years, really, with injuries. But when he was at it, mate, what a player. So he's my number 10. Very, very good football.
Yeah, he was my number 9.
Stolen it, see. So you had Ledley King number 9. My number 9 might surprise some people, might not. I have gone for Jamie Carragher, mate. I have gone for Carragher.
Well, my number 8 pisses all over that.
Go on.
And he's won Player of the Year.
Go on.
Paul McGrath.
That's a shout, mate. What a quality one. So my number, what we on number 8 is Gary Pallister.
That was my number 8, Paul McGrath.
Yeah. And
all right. Who's yours?
Gary Pallister, because your number 9 was the one that I said with Ledley King, wasn't it? So yeah, my number 8 was Gary Pallister. Number 7, mate. Who you got?
I'm gonna go Marcel Desailly.
Interesting one. I've gone also for a Chelsea player at number 7. Ricardo Carvalho. Shout. Who you got number 6, mate? Because this is when we get into the nitty gritty and people get a bit upset and they get all this and that. Who have you got at number 6?
Tony Adams.
Me too. That's who my number 6 is Tony Adams. So we're into the top 5. And this is where people get all a bit irritated. And I'm going to just say this up front. John Terry is not in my top 10. But number 5.
Well, wait a minute. How is he not in your top 10?
Because I think he's overrated.
No.
He's in my top 15, but he's not in my top 10.
No.
He's my 11.
No.
But go on. Number 5, mate, who you got?
Vincent Kompany.
Interesting. My number 5 is Sol Campbell. Quality player on his day. We're really getting into it now.
Number 4 for me, that. Sol Campbell.
So my number 4 will maybe upset some. I don't know. Virgil van Dijk, mate. This was close. I got to say, between 4 and 3 was like it could have gone either way. But my number 4, I just went for Virgil van Dijk at 4. And it was real close with my number 3. Who's your number 4?
Virgil van Dijk.
Interesting. So now we'll see what order we got these 3 in. I think, just saying this ahead, we don't know each other's, but I think our 3 will be the same order, personally.
Well, because John Terry's in mine.
Is he? Oh, that's interesting, because that means you've left out one of these. Number 3, who have you got?
One minute.
You just realised something. So Virgil van Dijk is my number 4.
No, Virgil van Dijk's number 11 for me. He's not in my top 10.
Oof. Okay, then. So who's your number 4, mate? Number 3.
That means John Terry would have to be left out then. Because there's 3 United players. I can't have 3 United players in the top 3, can I?
Well, look, the 3 which I've got is the best 3 centre-backs in Premier League history, in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, are all United players.
What? So mine would be Rio Ferdinand, Jaap Stam, Vidic.
Yeah. So what order do you have them 3 in?
In that order.
So Rio Ferdinand 1.
Jaap Stam 2.
Okay. So my order is Vidic.
But then I've got to fit John Terry in there somewhere.
You have to remove someone, maybe.
Someone would have to go, yeah.
Take Paul McGrath out, put John Terry in.
No. Paul McGrath.
No Virgil van Dijk in your top 10's an interesting one.
No. He's they played at Scotland, Southampton. No.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate.
What?
I do agree. He's not like, that's why he's not in my top 3.
At his highest level, he was. But no, these centre half did it for.
Well, mate, this is the way I looked at it.
A long time. I've missed off Gary Pallister, Steve Bruce.
Yeah. So the way I look at it is Jaap Stam, in my opinion, is the best defender the Premier League's ever seen. However, I could give what you said, like Rio Ferdinand as number 1. I can go with that because Rio Ferdinand's body of work is over a longer period of time. Jaap Stam was only in the Premier League for a couple of seasons, but to me, I think he's the best defender the Premier League's had, centre back.
People don't realise how big he was, how strong he was, but how quick he was as well.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I think he's, and then Ferdinand's my number 2.
Real Ferdinand was, nothing would get past him when he was on that near post crosses, reading the game. John Terry, because he wasn't the quickest, but he read the game really, really, really well.
Saying that, mate.
And he could play both feet, left foot, right foot.
Yeah. Jaap Stam was in the Premier League for 3 years. So actually, he only played 1 year less than someone else who I just said. I can't remember who it was. But for me, Rio Ferdinand, like, not just for what he won, but just his ability on the floor, in the air, his positional, just the way he read the game, everything. Like, to me, Rio Ferdinand is England's greatest ever defender. And I know some people will get upset with that.
Old statement that with Bobby Moore there.
Bobby Moore obviously won a World Cup. So I understand the arguments for it. And maybe, like, I didn't see Bobby Moore play as much as I've seen Rio Ferdinand play. So it's difficult, isn't it?
No, but Bobby Moore looked a real good, looked a carbon copy of Rio Ferdinand. But, you know, in them days, it would have been, you know, when you're playing against, you know, Pele, some greats, but obviously Rio Ferdinand's played against Ronaldo, who scored an hat-trick against him, I might add. So he played against some top players as well, but and Bobby Moore come on top against Pele. Rio Ferdinand didn't come on top against Ronaldo.
No.
So people, the old, but we do that now. I do the City fan at work saying, you know, some of the players back then that are 2008, 2019 would fucking annihilate this City team. No, even the 99 team would give this City team a good go as well. So, but you know, it's all if, buts, and maybes, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I'm interested. Like, I'm sure people will disagree, but like, you know, it is subjective, and it's personal opinions, and age comes into it because it's players you've seen more of and stuff like that. But for me, like I said, I think Stam, if you don't take into account like time played and how long he was in the Premier League and stuff,
he was colossal, mate.
So good.
And he had the best song ever.
What was his song?
Yap Stam is a big Dutch man. Get past him if you fucking can. Try another trick, he'll make you look a dick. Yap Stam.
Love it. I love it. But but if you would kind of take into account like trophies won and like body of work and length of career, I think Ferdinand is up there. And I understand people who will say company and they'll say Van Dijk, and I understand the argument for John Terry as well. But like I said, it is subjective. And for me, the players that I named in my top 10 are higher up the list than Terry. That's just personal opinion, mate, isn't it?
I was trying to think who we missed out.
Well, you got like Kolo Touré from Arsenal was good. Martin Keown, maybe. I don't think so, but some people might. Sami Hyypiä from Liverpool was pretty good.
Yeah, my Gareth Southgate shout number 10 there is a bad shout with some. Yeah, so he wouldn't be number 10.
You should put John Terry in there, can't you?
Nah, John Terry.
But then, all right, here's an interesting one for you then. Where do you put John Stones in terms of? Yeah, I know you can't like say, oh, he's number blah blah blah, but just would you have him in your top 15, top 20? Like, where does he stand in terms of where you rate him overall at the moment?
He's doing something that we've never seen a centre half do, is it? So it's quite unique. So, yeah, he's doing something.
Because he did struggle a bit, didn't he, at first at City, and maybe he's more suited to this role that he's doing now because he's very good on the ball.
Yeah, he's very comfortable on the ball. That's an art in itself, being a defender and reading the game the way he does, the size of him as well, but be able to get about the pitch and be comfortable on the ball and pop up anywhere, pops him everywhere. So, but you have to have a good team to allow that to happen. Not anyone could do that because they just get ripped to shreds. So, but
I mean, you imagine like
without Kyle Walker, I think they get found out a lot more because he gets them out of a lot of trouble.
Yeah, just his pace, mate, isn't it? It just
gets him out of a lot of trouble.
It was quite interesting. I was watching his interview on Rio Ferdinand's YouTube channel, Kyle Walker, and he was saying, depending on which one of the centre backs is next to him, will depend on whether he'll follow a winger. So he said basically the wingers he finds most difficult to defend against is not the ones who will go 1-on-1, 1v1 with him. It's the ones that drop into the pocket of space. And he said he named the two centre backs, and he said if one of them's there, he'll follow him into the pocket. But if the other one's there, he'll drop in and let him go. And I just thought, even just listening to that, it's like that awareness of which one of your teammates is playing with you, so you know. And like, I think he's probably up. Him and Gary Neville for me are the two best right backs the Premier League's probably seen. But we'll probably do right backs or left backs and whatnot at some point.
Full backs, not right backs.
Yeah, full backs. Yeah, that's probably a better shout. I tell you, mate, is massively underrated from probably because of a bit of recency bias. Is Gary Pallister, mate? He was what a defender. I remember watching him like when I was young, and just
he was quick as well because he was so tall, and once you get going, he was quick.
But just on the ball as well,
partnered each other so well. Bruce and Pallister. Even the name rhymes, Bruce and Pallister, they were brilliant them, and forever remember because that was 92, 93 side, and they finally won the league after 26 years. It was a great night being against Blackburn. Great game as well, 1-3-1, and it was a really good night. And he scored as well. He scored a free kick.
Yeah, he scored that free kick, didn't he?
He scored the free kick to make it 3-1.
Mental, mate. But he was so good. Like, at that point, centre-backs didn't play football. And in fairness, Steve Bruce wasn't too bad on the ball. But, I mean, Pallister was...
Well, they both could play. They both could play.
But that was unusual, wasn't it? At that
both could play. How many centre-halves take the penalties?
No, that's true. That's very true.
Steve Bruce would score 10 penalties a season because he would take the penalties. You wouldn't get that these days.
No. So here you are then, mate. We'll talk about Virgil van Dijk. You mentioned briefly about him, but so obviously he's been in the Premier League, or he's been active in football 2015 to present. He's won Champions Leagues, he's won Super Cups, World Cup, FIFA World Cup, Club Cup, Premier League title, League title, FA Cup. Why don't you rate him quite up in that upper?
I do. I'm just being a bit unfair. Thinking about it, this list is probably just done on the fly.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But like, do you have him up there?
If you got like 6th or 7th, mate, if I'm being honest.
But you don't have him quite up there with Ferdinand and Stam and those.
No, because Stam were Stam was just he was Virgil van Dijk, but like just he was just so strong. No one was getting past. I mean, no one. I don't care if he's Erling Haaland or anyone. No one was getting past him. He was a brick wall, and to get rid of him the way Fergie did was shocking.
Ruthless,
he was shocked because he was just like colossal, and he obviously admitted it was a mistake, but at the time he was gutted. And then obviously Rio Ferdinand comes in, and a couple of years later Vidic comes in. So you forget him quite quickly, and obviously you're winning. But it was a massive blow because he was just colossal. But Virgil van Dijk, I said it when he was at Celtic. Why is no one going for this geezer? And then he ended up going to Southampton. I'm like, why is he going to Southampton? He's better than that. I've seen it from day one when I've seen him at Celtic. I thought, look at him, looks like a Rolls Royce, just like he's not even making any effort, just doing it easy. And then obviously he went to Southampton, and then he was the same there. And then obviously Liverpool took a punt on him. And yes, but no, I just think, just my opinion, mate. That's all.
In 2022, Michael Owen said this about Virgil van Dijk. So I want to hear your reaction to this. He said, Michael Owen said, I think he's the best centre half of all time. He's bigger than everyone. He's faster than everyone. He's stronger than everyone. He's brilliant on the ball. He scores goals. I've never seen anything like it.
So he's not bigger than Jaap Stam, and he's not stronger than Jaap Stam. He's not quicker than Jaap Stam. So what's he talking about? He just talks shit. Shit.
Very quickly, mate, tell me why I'm wrong not to have John Terry in my top 10. He's number 11 for me. So tell me why I'm wrong.
He wasn't the quickest, but he commanded. He dragged teams through sometimes, but his defending was second to none. We're not talking about personalities here. We're talking about footballs. As a footballer, he could play left foot, right foot. Proper team player, proper captain. Defo top 10.
What about Sol Campbell? Was a 17-year career, won a couple of trophies, won some Premier Leagues.
He was like Yap Stam, but Yap Stam was a lot more polished than Sol Campbell. Sol Campbell was like a bit like Yap Stam, but like I say, Yap Stam was more polished, could play. Obviously, could brought up in a Dutch way of playing football. You know, Sol Campbell was more like a bit of like a set of railings. The ball would bounce off him, but he could defend. He was strong and quick.
Interestingly, he was a big part of stopping United from winning the treble again in 2008. Like, because Arsenal won that FA Cup that year, didn't they? And he was a big part of that Arsenal side winning.
Yeah, it was quite a shock when he went from Tottenham to Arsenal.
Yeah,
and he got some stick, proper stick. Because I was living in London around that time. Yeah.
Yeah, he got proper.
I used to see him because he was big into buying his properties, right? And I used to work around the city area and stuff like that. So I've seen him a couple of times as well. But yeah, he was he'd gone around that time. I can't remember when he went. It was I can't remember when he went, but I was there for like 3 years from 98 to 2001, 2002.
Yeah, he was. He's a big guy as well, isn't he? And I think like
big old unit. That's what I mean. Big, but he's quick, strong.
And he took proper stick as well. None of this sort of.
Oh, he still does.
Petty social media shit. Like he was getting like death threats and all sorts. Wasn't he?
It's like Alan Ramsey. In August saying, right, see, I'm going to Swansea.
Yeah, Jesus, can you imagine? Oof. Yeah, mate, it must have been, and I think that says a lot about him as well. Like
he's one of their own as well, come through the system.
Yeah, and he made that decision to leave. Well, I think there's like a big old story to it in there. I can't remember what it is.
It was the right decision. He went to leave. He wanted to win trophies, and he won trophies, so it was the right decision.
Yeah, he won.
It wasn't a money thing. He wanted to win trophies, and it was definitely the right decision because he won trophies, and he was in that invincible side, that Arsenal team. So, yeah, it was a good decision.
Good decision.
You have to be a strong character. You have to be a strong character to do something like that.
Oh God, yeah.
Still live in the area. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not like it's miles away, is it? Like so you can get away from it.
No,
banging it. If you had to pick between Sol Campbell and Tony Adams, which one would you pick?
Tony Adams.
Interesting. Tony Adams, very underrated. Again, probably a bit of recency bias, isn't it? By people who'd never really seen him play.
Proper captain, leader, a leader of men. Even though he had his issues, but still a leader of men. Sol Campbell was a leader, well, not in the same way. I think Tony Adams was more of a leader, a club captain. Proper captain, and like I say, a leader of men.
And do you know what? What speaks for how good he was on the ball is that when Wenger came in and transformed Arsenal into this different side of playing football and the change in the way they played, he was still at the centre of it. That's how good.
That last game of the season when he scored against Everton, when he's got it from the back, played it in midfield and gone on and chipped him in, he's volleyed it, scored in. Yeah, he could play. Once he got on his bike as well, you know, he was strong, but just not strong enough at Villa Park in 1999.
Yeah, mate, I got a lot of respect for that. You know, another one club man came up through the system at Arsenal, stayed with him for his whole career, won stuff. It's the dream, isn't it? That's the dream. He's in football or what to be a footballer is come through your hometown club, go through the academy, get in the first team, and win everything.
100%.
Right, mate. As always, a pleasure. What did you think of the Anthony Joshua versus Ngannou fight?
Good knockout. I missed it because I thought it was going to run about 11 o'clock, so I was tailing, so I fell asleep. It's good. AJ's looking more like his old AJ self, so obviously Ben Davison's good for him. Eddie's talking the talk. I mean, he's giving out the talk, but you know, AJ's walking the walk for him and he's doing it. But yeah, hopefully Usyk and Fury, you know, hopefully Fury comes through that, and then we'll see, you know, big fight at the end of the year.
Yeah, it'll depend on the Usyk fight ultimately, won't it? Whether they end up fighting. I think if Fury loses to Usyk, I don't think we see that Joshua fight. I think if Fury wins, they'll make that fight. I think
Dustin Poirier surprised a few people on the weekend as well.
Yes, mate. Yeah, he did.
He's a
really
stud.
good.
He's a stud.
Yeah, mate. I'll tell you who is fighting on the weekend. Tai Tuivasa in the main event this weekend, but also
he was a James Beard out of his shoe.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, mate.
And also Welsh girl Corey McKenna's fighting as well.
Just the last one. You sure you don't want me to edit me Super 6 or don't play? Or you...
Don't embarrass yourself, Flo. I've beaten you for 2 seasons in a row. Come on now.
Just trying to be polite, that's all.
Mate, polite. When have you ever been fucking polite?
Like a runaway league. We like it like watching the league now. 3-horse race. No one likes to see someone run away with it, do they?
Don't you worry. I'll be thereabouts to the end.
That's all.
It's all good. In a bit.